Novak, how is it that these last few years you've played so well at this event at a time of year when you've had a long season, you've played a lot of matches, guys are very tired, and also if you could reflect on the possibility of the challenge of facing Andy for the #1 ranking possibly later in the weekend?
Well, I understand that of course the season is very long, and it's myself included. We're not, all of the players are not as fresh as in the beginning of the season. That's a fact. But I can't speak in the name of the other players. Obviously, I can say from my perspective is that I always try to, really take the last drop of energy, whatever is left in my body, to perform as well as I can and finish off the season in the best possible way. And so, in the last 4 years, I've been very fortunate to really play some great tennis in the fall, especially in the indoors, Paris and London, back to back, playing really good. So I like, I like playing in O2 Arena. I like the surface conditions, and I guess the fact that every match is against top 8 player in the world. There is no, easy matches, and you got to approach for every match as it's, I guess, later stages of Grand Slam. That's how it feels, and it's best of 3, so it's more intense, and you got to be really on top of your game. And I guess that's something that, extracts that kind of motivation and inspiration for you to perform well. And I'm just focused on my semifinals. Let's see, what happens tomorrow. I'm going to obviously have my team watch the matches and see who I play against and then prepare.
Novak, I thought you played very well and very positive today, but I thought your level of intensity raised a little bit after the altercation with Fergus over the time violation. What was the basis of your argument, and were you sort of buying into the John McEnroe theory of get angry and play better?
No, not specifically, to be honest. I was glad to get that break in 2-1, and then obviously that very long point ended up with amazing lob that David played, and I just had a conversation with Tom Barnes, the supervisor, and I just wanted to get his view on this, and because I mentioned a few times before in my career that first of all I accept and I know that I'm one of the players that takes the most time, and there's no doubt. So I'm not running away from that, but I'm and every time that I'm late, and if I get a so-called a soft warning or pre-warning, I'll accept that and I won't say a word. But I think it's fair and correct and respectful towards the player and to the game. If you go over the first time, let's say over the limit, that you at least get a heads up. That's all I'm asking for. To be honest, and I'm not the only one who has that kind of mindset and perspective and opinion about this, because I know that the rules are strict and I know you can follow, but there should be a kind of a sense for the game, and it was a 4th game of the match after a long point. The first time that I went over, a few seconds, and he gives me a warning. So I just I didn't think that was supported by I guess the right facts, and that's why I wanted to have a conversation and understand why. And I guess it was as it was.
Novak, you said on court that there's no stress, but has there been stress over the past few months? And if so, when did you manage to get rid of that?
Look, we're all humans. We all every single day we face some certain kind of challenges, mental challenges, in an everyday basis, private, professional life, emotions, thoughts, everything. It's normal that you go, especially if you play if you compete on the highest level in professional sport, that you have maybe more of the I guess that hype and that emotions, and adrenaline going through your body. So it's very important always to kind of know how to filter all of that and how to channel it in a positive direction. So I've certainly there are stages of the year or of the day or moments when you feel worse and when you feel better, but important thing is to be conscious of it and just deal with it in a best possible way that works for you. So I mean that's all I can say, because I mean I have been in this particular situation so many times in my career, and I think that experience also helps the training of the mind, and being in these situations to I guess deal with it in a proper way.
Novak, you have a special way of celebrating your victories with the crowd. I don't know, is this a spontaneous thing, or what does the expression mean? How do you feel about it?
Well, there's few additions, I think, this tournament, but generally it's just sharing the passion and the love for the sport with the crowd, and that's all. As the gesture is showing, basically, I'm giving my heart to the crowd. That's all.
Novak, I just wanted to get your take a little bit off topic on Davis Cup. Davis Cup coming up, the finals, end of the year. As we talked about, players are tired. A lot of players are injured. It's a long season. Is there any ideal scenario for you for Davis Cup and how they can create a better format or create better dates? First round next year is right after Australian Open, a lot of travel. Any suggestions on that?
Well, thank you for your question. I mean, I've answered this question a few times before in my life and in my career, and I'm going to say the same thing as I said maybe 8 years ago, is that this format is not working for the top players, or especially for the top players, because it's just completely at the wrong time in the schedule. And if you go back 5 years, let's say 5-6 years, and you see the amount of the top players that played at the later stages of the Davis Cup, then you see that it lost value. So of course they have to change. I mean, they need to have the format. In my opinion, the only way to work is once a year, 1 or 2 weeks, have a round robin format. 4, 5, 6 groups. Have teams play in different locations, then come together in one location, play a knockout stage, quarterfinals, semifinals, final four, whatever. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not the only one to have this kind of opinion about it. I mean, many of the players have been talking about this format and the schedule, and top players especially, because it just comes right after Grand Slams, right after World Tour finals. I mean, it's just and playing over the 3 days and best of 5, and I think they should cut it down to 2 days and best of 3, have 2 singles and 1 doubles. Those kind of things, but they haven't been really showing. ITF is obviously in tennis, it's a bit confusing with ITF, with ATP, with Grand Slams. Everybody is a separate entity, and so you have to consider different sides and negotiate, and ITF owns Davis Cup, so ITF hasn't been really very helpful with the players' demands, and the only thing that they wanted to change is the neutral final, I think, for next year or for the year after that, which talking to all the players in the council and most of the players also around the tour, nobody agrees with that, because it's you're taking away from the players the one thing that players love about Davis Cup, which is the home tie, the home crowd. So I don't know how the future of Davis Cup will look like. Which, I mean, I respect that competition. It has a long history. I love playing for my country. This is the only official team competition we have in our sports. But there is something definitely that radically has to be changed, because, I mean, I don't know if they realize, but, they're losing a lot of value in terms of, from the commercial perspective, marketing perspective, whatever. People don't know, the format of the competition, the system, how it works, who plays who, until it gets to the finals. And even finals is not, as attractive in some countries anymore. So, that's my position.
And Novak, you said that it's not in your eyes a surprise if you do finish the year at year-end number 1. I mean, you've come through the group stages, maximum points. How much of a motivation is it? How big does it feel to you that everything is now in your hands if you win the last 2 matches?
Well, I mean, that's obviously something that you wish for. I mean, as a player, to have I guess everything in your hands. Not to depend on other player. And in this particular case, I'm glad that it's like that, and everything has been going, as I said, in a positive direction. I've been playing better and better as I proceed in the tournament. I have now a day of rest, and I'm looking forward, really. I mean, it's last couple of matches of the year, hopefully. One thing is for sure, I'm gonna give it all on the court and see what happens.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.